Young men, some of them only teenagers, prepared to fling themselves from a tower 100 feet high. No bungee cords, no nets. The only thing that can save them from smashing into the ground are the tree vines tied around their ankles. Why do it then? Seems crazy.
No, we believe that it's our traditional thing, so we must do it from year to year.
Land diving, as they call it here on Pentecost Island, is a rite of passage for young boys trying to prove their manhood, and a harvest festival. The higher the dive, they believe, the higher the crops.
Okay, can I get the bank routing numbers?
They are bill collectors for a finance company in Tempe, Arizona. But this is a long way from Tempe, Arizona. This is India, where sacred cows roam the streets.
Thank you for bringing this issue to our attention.
There's even a call center boot camp for Indians who want to sound American.
Here's what I can do for you.
Here in the Outback, no traffic jams, almost no roads, only the vast Australian wilderness where some houses are 500 miles apart. Some driveways 50 miles long. It's the world's oldest outdoor movie garden. Sun Pictures was built in 1916, a shrine to movie history and a reminder that air conditioning and carpet are no match for grass and fresh air, even when the lizards steal the scene. Mike Lee, ABC News, Broome, Australia. The music is European. But this opera house is in a city on the edge of the Amazon, in the middle of the largest rainforest on Earth. Now, these snakes can be up to 60 feet long, and when they get to be big, they'll actually even jump in your boat. Throughout Africa, elephants have always knocked over a few trees, providing leaves for other animals. Nice arrangement. But at Kruger Park, officials say there are too many elephants killing trees because a decade ago, the government gave in to animal rights groups and suspended this violent method of population control, the yearly cull, the killing of several hundred elephants. If officials resume culling, they risk international outrage. It is, among other things, a public relations nightmare. During a cull, baby elephants would also have to be shot to death because they cannot survive without their mothers. And out in the lagoon, where U.S. warships were brought to test the effect of a nuclear bomb, there are now scuba diving tourists.
The divers have an opportunity firsthand to touch history, to come here and see what an atom bomb has done to battleships.
I dove down to see the aircraft carrier USS Saratoga, the Helldiver fighter planes, the flight deck, and the ship's radio all survived those nuclear shock waves. To imagine that thing was hit by an atom bomb right on this spot. An extraordinary experience. It's amazing. Enter Rodrigo Herrera, who may be the world's most unusual bill collector. His business name is Dr. Diablo, Dr. Devil. He shows up with a carload of women in skin-tight costumes, a vicious dog, and the devil. Dr. Diablo makes sure that your neighbors know that you, until now a pillar of the community, are actually a deadbeat. It's not very discreet, and that is the whole point. I'm traveling back through time on desert tracks cut centuries ago by the caravans that carried gold, salt, and spices to Timbuktu, a place so hard to reach it was once called the end of the world. Even now, the 3-day journey across this country by car and by boat is an adventure into the heart of Africa and a window into why so many people here are trapped in the past. Sometimes I set up my computer connected to a satellite dish to write home about how primitive, how low-tech everything is out here. Everything but me. At last, Timbuktu, a place many Westerners believe is only a myth. For hundreds of years, Timbuktu was a rich and exotic crossroads for Africans who traded gold for salt at the same price. A forbidden city. Westerners were banned. Now Timbuktu desperately wants to be on the tourist maps. In this remote and exotic corner of the South Pacific, a small miracle began like this. A group of American surfers, who also happened to be doctors, nurses, and paramedics, began coming to Fiji 12 years ago for working vacations. Then one day, the surfing doctors were asked to come and help the nearby village of Nabila, home to 200 people and not a single doctor. After 5 years spent getting to know the doctors, the Nabila village elders took a vote and decided the Americans were right, that the entire village should quit smoking. For these South African children, whose parents are either dead or dying of AIDS, these few moments with a tin box and a paintbrush will last a lifetime.
The box has become truly precious by including a letter from the parents in the box that's showing them how much they were loved, and it's at the same time giving the parent an opportunity of documenting their dreams for their children.
The next time you watch an NFL game, spare a thought for the players down under who wear virtually nothing but their courage. This is football. A different kind of football. A bunch of guys in shorts with no shoulder pads or helmets plowing downfield, hopefully without losing the football or an eyeball. Like firefighters everywhere, it's their duty to risk their lives. But in Chile, every firefighter in the nation is an unpaid volunteer. Something else makes the bomberos extraordinary. There are 1,000 women firefighters, 1/10 of the nation's volunteers. Ursula Edgars makes her living as a video DJ. As the sun sets across Africa each evening, the sound of birds gives way to a war cry. Billions of mosquitoes go in a deadly feeding frenzy. Up to 5,000 Africans, including 3,000 children, are killed by malaria every day. DDT and other pesticides that kill mosquitoes are banned throughout most of Africa. And drugs that treat malaria are losing their effectiveness. There is no airline like it. It doesn't even try to make a profit. You can't book a flight or even buy a ticket, but they'll come right to your front door. There are no security checks because passengers are often unconscious to begin with. This is the Royal Flying Doctor Service, with a waiting room almost the size of the United States, the vast Australian Outback. Dr. Lori Marker, a zoologist from Oregon, moved here 15 years ago to devote her life to cheetahs.
A purr which just radiates through you.
What little territory cheetahs have left here is disappearing. Much of it turned into livestock farms. Farmers killed them or trapped them in order to protect their herds and flocks.
And the farm worker had chased down the family of cubs and grabbed this one and then hit it in the head and kicked it.
She calls him Little Peeps. In Ghana, you can be buried in anything, from a tuna fish to an elephant to a sandal. It's all about making the journey to the next life in style. The list goes on and on. Airplanes, cocoa beans, Bibles, peppers, lobsters, lions, beer bottles, even a replica of your own store. At the gravesite, Christina Hampton said she wished she could phone home to describe it all. But the nearest cell phone was already spoken for. Mike Lee, ABC News, Accra, Ghana.